Hello everyone. Today I'm going to take up the last content from the book Springs, and it is a poem titled Water, written by Challapalli Swaruparani. Before I start with the explanation, let us know about the poet. Challapalli Swaruparani, her writings are all about her experiences. The subject of her writings moved from personal to social. So, whatever she wrote or whatever she expressed in the poems or through the poems were all initially from her personal experiences, whether it was related to caste or some gender issue. She used to write initially about her personal experiences, and then she started writing about the social issues that were there in the society. With time, she attained confidence and clarity. Her poetry deals with issues of gender and caste, as I told you. Her medium of writing is Telugu, and she belongs to Andhra Pradesh. So, this is about the poet. Now, moving on to the explanation. The first stanza. In the first stanza, the poet says, water is omniscient and omnipresent, which means that water knows everything and is present everywhere. Water has been a witness to the generations old struggle between the village and the Vada. Here, I would like to tell you about the caste system that is prevalent in the society. According to the Varna system that all of you must be knowing about, have already read about it in the previous years of your school, that the society was divided into these four Varnas, and Shudras being the lowest in that, and there was another classification or another category which was considered lower than the Shudras, and they were called the Panchamas, and those were the ones who used to live in the Vadas, away from the village where the other higher caste people used to live. So, water knows, according to Challapalli Swaruparani, she says that water knows everything, water is present everywhere, and that is why is a witness, knows about the generations old strife, the struggle that the Vada people have had to go through for generations together. Every fact, everything is known to water. Now, she further says it also knows that untouchability never disappears, just as the dampness on the well's edge never dries. So, water knows everything, that the curse that we have in our society in the name of untouchability, water knows that untouchability is such a curse which will never disappear, just as the edge of a well is always damp. It is always damp and it does not dry up because people keep on drawing water all the time. So, because that's just a comparison, just as the well's edge never dries up, in the same way the society can never get rid of untouchability. It will never disappear from the society. Okay, the second stanza, here she says, water knows the difference of race and subcaste. So, talking about race, the Samaria woman and Jesus, the Jew. So, that is the reference that she takes from the Bible. She says, speaks about Jesus, the Jew. Jews are supposed to be the ones belonging to the higher caste, and Samarias are the ones belonging to the lower caste. So, water even knows the slightest of difference, the difference that is between the village and the Vada, the difference that is between races as well. An example here is Samaria woman and Jesus the Jew. As the instance goes, that Jesus was going around with his disciples, and he came outside a particular village where he saw a Samaria woman drawing water from the well. So he felt thirsty and asked for some water. The woman was surprised as to how come somebody is asking me for some water when I belong to the lower caste. So she said that, and to that Jesus uh, had his own things to say, that he doesn't believe in all these things, and she was surprised by that. So water here, the point is that water knows about that discrimination, that difference which exists between races as well. The other is the difference between the subcaste. Subcaste are the examples given here, or the references are leather, which refers to the cobbler, and spool, that refers to the weaver. We just don't have these caste systems in our society, we have these subcastes as well. Water knows the minutest of all the details. It even knows the difference between the subcastes, that is leather, which the cobbler works with, and spool, the tool that is used by the weaver. The difference between these two subcastes is also known by water, or is known to water. Okay. Now, the third stanza, it knows the pain and suffering of the Panchama, as I told you about who the Panchamas are and how much of agony, that means how much of pain and suffering they have to go through. As all of us know, water is a basic necessity. We need it. And if someone is denied such a basic necessity, what would be the extent or the intensity of somebody's agony is what she is talking about, the pain and suffering of the Panchama. Water knows it. She says that the Panchamas, they did not have the right to draw even a pot of water. The Panchamas had to wait all day long with their empty pot until a Shudra arrived. So she says that as per the rule of the village, the Panchama, if in need of water, would have to just stand beside the well, even if it took the whole day, waiting for a Shudra to arrive and then draw water from the well and then pour water into the vessel of, or the pot that the Panchama was carrying. So the Panchamas were not allowed to touch the well even. And just for a pot of water, just for one pot of water, it could be like waiting for hours and or even a complete day. So that was the level or that intensity of the agony that the Panchamas had to go through because of this caste system. She says further in stanza 4 that water has been a witness to humiliation, the embarrassment or the humiliation that someone has to go through. Water knows that as well. Water has been a witness. It knows the shame and disgrace that the Vada girl went through. Water also knows the extent of embarrassment or humiliation, the shame and disgrace the Vada girl had to go through. Why did that happen? The Shudra poured water from a distance, and instead of pouring it into the pot, he poured it all over her. So knowingly, when people tried to embarrass or humiliate someone just because somebody belonged to a lower caste, just because somebody was supposed to be the weaker section of the society, how people humiliated or made fun of or took advantage of that situation is what she speaks about. And these are all facts that she is speaking about because she has witnessed that herself. She says that how much of a shame that girl might have had to go through when, while standing there with an empty pot to fill it up with water, instead of pouring water into the pot, the Shudra pours water from a distance in such a way that the water doesn't fall in the pot, but falls all over the place and all on her, and just wets her, and all the water is wasted, and she is made to feel embarrassed and is humiliated in this process. And all this is done knowingly, just to take advantage of somebody's situation, piteous state. So that is what she is speaking about in this fourth stanza. In the fifth stanza, she says, water knows the righteous rage of Karamchedu Suvarthamma. Now, she further speaks about another instance that took place, where in Madigapalle, a water tank was being polluted by the Kama landlords, which was opposed by a Dalit boy. In pursuit of protecting the Dalit boy from the vicious attack of the Kama landlords, Suvarthamma lifted the water pot and warded them off. So this is what happened then. So water knows the rage, the anger, which was correct on the part of Suvarthamma, because this is, as I told you, the instance that at a water tank there were these Kama landlords who were polluting the clean drinking water, and a Dalit boy happened to stop them from doing so. And because he was a Dalit boy and he was supposedly not the right person to ever raise his voice or voice his opinion about anything, so that enraged these boys, these Kama landlords, and they were about to attack this boy, where Suvarthamma, who was standing over there, she picked up her vessel or the pot that she was having, and she just ran towards them and just trying to take that step in self-defense and trying to save that boy as well, trying to protect the boy as well from their attacks, from the attacks of the Kama landlord. This single act of Suvarthamma brought about so much of anger from or the wrath from these Kama landlords, that they had almost a riot sort of a situation, and where 6 villagers, 6 Dalit people were killed even. So all these things happened just because of water. So water knows everything is what our Swaruparani says that. This is how water has been a witness to centuries of social injustice. So water knows, she says, that water is a witness to everything, starting from the difference between village and vada, from the difference between race and subcaste, starting from the difference in all these things, the humiliation that the Panchama has to go through, the embarrassment the Vada girl has to go through, and the anger which was right on the part of Suvarthamma. Water knows everything and every bit of social injustice that the so-called lower class or the lower caste of the society has had to go through. So this is all that she says here. This has to be continued in the next class. Till then, I would want you people to go through the video again. That would help you understand the text better. Okay, thank you. Have a good day.